Hello, everybody. My name's Lace. Happy Power Rangers Day, everybody. Happy Power Rangers Day. And I gotta say this, everybody. For Power Rangers Day, I'm reviewing my favorite season of Power Rangers. The Power Rangers season that saved Power Rangers. It's Power Rangers in Space. I love the season of Power Rangers. This was the first, all the Power Rangers seasons that are great, like Time Force, Wild Force, Lightspeed Rescue, SPD, Jungle Fury. All those great seasons of Power Rangers. They need to acknowledge that Power Rangers Space gave them that opportunity. Power Rangers Space gave them the opportunity because Power Rangers Space storylines were so good. It was so mature. They weren't just a kid show anymore. They took dark storylines and they just took awesome storylines and they just made it very unique and they told it well. This wasn't Power Rangers Mighty Morphin or Power Rangers Turbo where the guys are going to get eaten by a pizza. Power Rangers in Space was the first true mature season of Power Rangers where even a teenager, an adult like me, could watch and be like, that was a good storyline. That was a good moment. The fight choreography got better. And let's start off what happened after the events of Turbo. The Turbo Rangers lost the command center. They must go into space to find Zordon to rescue him. They meet the Red Space Ranger Andros. Now, Andros is probably one of the greatest Power Rangers you're going to get. He's an amazing character. What's his backstory? He's been fighting evil in space with other apparently Power Rangers. There's some stuff that's left questionable, like why is there other morphers here? Why is Andros so withdrawn from human society? It's because more than likely he lost other Power Rangers. He lost other people in his life. He's very withdrawn. Also, his backstory: his little sister was kidnapped by an evil villain, and he's been searching for his sister ever since. This is some great work with this character. I love Andros. Let's talk about another great character, TJ. TJ was a Red Turbo Power Ranger. He became the Blue Space Ranger in this one. And this is where we find, this is my favorite duel with Andros and TJ. Because when Andros is the leader, but TJ was always the de facto second leader. He's a former Red Ranger. He knows how to take charge. And TJ was the alpha male. When Andros had doubts about himself, TJ tried to reassure him. And when Andros was a little bit blinded by finding his sister, TJ brought him back to that moment. Like, hey, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. He was always like a second in command. And this was the true beginning of a Red Ranger and Blue Ranger teaming up. And not team up, but you always knew that the Red Ranger was first in charge, and the second one was the Blue Ranger was in charge, the second one in command. And that didn't happen. And a lot of people say, when Zeo happened, Tommy was the Zeo Ranger Red, and then Rocky, who was a former Red Ranger, was obviously the one in charge. To me, Adam was in charge. If it wasn't Tommy, then it was Adam, and then when Jason came around, it was Jason and Tommy once again. But this was the first true season that had the whole Red is the leader and Blue is always the second in command, and that really showed out through here. And they're both alphas. Andros and TJ are both great characters. They both have great interactions with each other, and I really do enjoy them as a part of the dynamic of the first and second in command. I really did enjoy that. I also love about this season also is the freaking, after the command center is gone, we get the mega ship. The mega ship is changed. And the mega ship could change into a Zord, for God's sake. That's the command center. Power Rangers have their own freaking costumes, for God's sake. They had a matching costume, matching uniforms, how they are in space. They're to help the people of Earth. And they go to this 90s late 80s, 90s type of sci-fi feel because they're in space. There's some great storytelling with this. Alpha, they actually changed the voice of Alpha. Thank freaking God for that. Turbo Alpha, don't even get me started, but Space Alpha, change of voice, a lot better, a lot more bearable. Another thing, going back to the Power Rangers in particular, we had Andros, TJ. Well, we got the others now we need to get. Carlos. Carlos's journey in space was pretty well done as well. There was a moment where he accidentally hurts one of the other Power Rangers, Cassie, and he's so conflicted whether or not he could be a Ranger or not, and he needs the mentor, the guy who chose to be a Power Ranger, Adam, to come back and to help him out, which is utterly fantastic. This does great stuff for Carlos' character. This does great stuff for Adam's character. Really just proves the legacy of Adam is a great Power Ranger and Carlos is a good Power Ranger. I don't find him the greatest Power Ranger alive, but I do enjoy Carlos as a character. Ashley. Ashley's the heart of the team. Ashley's the type of person to get everybody on the team. She wants everybody to be happy. She wants everybody to come out of the shell. She doesn't want them to be alone. She's a very warm, loving person, and she's a great Yellow Ranger, and she really brings out the best in Andros, which is an eventual love interest for her, and they both work well together. Andros is very salty, but he actually brings it out on him, and out on him to speak to her, to do new things, and to basically communicate with her. So they have a great relationship. One of the underrated Pink Rangers of all time, Cassie. Cassie had a great episode where another Power Ranger great episode was Power Ranger in Space, is where there's this moth or this bug like a bee, and basically he's created to destroy the Power Rangers, but the only thing he wants to do is smell flowers. He doesn't want to hurt Cassie, and when he's like basically nearly destroyed, Cassie protects him, and there's some great storylines with Cassie and her character. And I always will say this, if whoever's in charge of the Power Rangers, if it's not Andros, if it's not TJ, it's Cassie. Cassie's always had that alpha female type. She's like, I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to take action. She's not going to go down without a fight. Cassie just brings that ultimate, like, I'm the badass. I'm going to step up. And I always enjoy Cassie as a character. Now, another Sixth Ranger we have is Zane, the Silver Ranger. He worked with Andros, and they were born both on the same planet. And we get him, the first episode we get of him, he's in a coma. And there's this mystery about him. Who is he? He's Zane, the Silver Ranger. He's a good character as well. His character is mostly a cocky, lovable dude. He's like, he's a flirt. He's very confident in himself. He's a pompous ass, the complete opposite of Andros. But they have a great relationship with each other. And I could see how Zane could always bring out the best in Andros. And again, the fact is that we get Zane that who was in a coma kind of goes into the theory that Andros and Zane lost other Power Rangers. So I just think this entire storyline of Space was great. Let's talk about the villains. Power Ranger villains were great. We got the Psycho Rangers, one of the few Power Ranger villains. Actually, I think it's the only Power Ranger villains that actually killed a Power Ranger. But that's Lost Galaxy, mind you. But another great season of Power Rangers. And the Psycho Rangers are just utterly fantastic. They are controlled by Astronema. Astronema, who we all know is the long-lost sister of Andros. A Power Ranger villain that has a connection to a Power Ranger. Can we change who we are? Can we change who our destiny is? She's a great character. Ecliptor, her adopted father, is just an amazing character. I really like that how, even though he's evil and he was created by evil, he so loves his adopted daughter Stromna that he's willing to do anything for her. He cares for her. And one of the best villains is Darkana, this slimy, sleazy slumbucket who kidnapped Crone as a child, who took her to freaking a Dark Spectre to freaking turn her evil. And the fact is, he toys with all the Rangers. He toys with the people around him. He toys with his so-called allies of evil. He is the ultimate manipulator. He's the ultimate. He's just an utter freaking demon that you just want to see die. And he's just one of the greatest Power Ranger villains you're ever going to see. The villains were amazing. The team was amazing. Some great storylines. They wrap up the stories of the Phantom Ranger, Justin Turbo Blue Ranger. Now, there was some hiccups along the way. This is not a perfect season, but this is the best season you're going to get. This wrapped up the Zordon era. There was some issues. They still had some of that corny high school stuff at the beginning, but they kind of took away when they were focusing more about the adult situations. This is the first season of Power Rangers where you actually see them go to other planets, and it's just not, hey, we're finding the background of the school and all that stuff. They had more interactions at other planets, and they made it feel like a sci-fi universe, and that's what you want in Power Rangers in Space. It started everything. It started all the maturity for future Power Ranger seasons. And again, it's not perfect. We had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode, which is just okay. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I don't really care for it. Ecliptor's death. Yeah, Lord Zed and Rita get spared, but not Ecliptor. Again, it was not perfect. But I love Power Rangers in Space. And I always will appreciate this season of Power Rangers because this saved when I was a kid, and when I watched it for the first time, I watched my Morphin, and then I was getting out of it. Then I saw In Space with my sister, and we loved that season of Power Rangers. Then came such great seasons. After that everything was a hit. After Space came Lost Galaxy, a hit. Lightspeed Rescue, an underrated hit. Time Force, great season. Wild Force, underrated season, great season. Ninja Storm, good, campy, but still a good season. Then Dino Thunder, SBD, Jungle Fury, I'm gonna review RPM, but there are, to me, Power Rangers was just a hit after in space, and it all took to this mature moments that every single Power Ranger season must acknowledge that Power Rangers in Space gave them that opportunity. Power Rangers Space was not only the savior of the Power Rangers seasons, it was the blueprint for success for the future of foundation of the future of Power Rangers. And to me, Power Rangers Space will always be, to this day, to me, my number one Power Rangers season. So my personal opinion, everybody, Power Rangers Space is my number one favorite season of Power Rangers. I'm still going to review all the other Power Rangers seasons. I'm going to rewatch Time Force. I'm going to rewatch Lost Galaxy. I got to do a couple more reviews. And once I'm done with it, I will do rankings. I will do more rankings of the Red Rangers, the Blue Rangers, the Yellow Rangers, the Silver Rangers, the villains, the costumes, the morphers. I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos more about Power Rangers because I love this entire dang franchise. I love it. I don't care how old I get. I don't care how what people say to me. Power Rangers in Space and Power Rangers in general is a great franchise. Even though the earlier seasons, yeah, you could skip a lot of episodes. But Power Rangers in Space is utterly fantastic. And please don't mind interrupting everybody. My name is Lee. Everybody. Bye-bye.